Welcome to H2O Croutons.
I'm Alexis.
And I'm Jennifer. Together, we're mother
and daughter co-host. Think Gen Z
meets Gen X and let the games begin. We're here to add a little crunch to your day with real talk on everything from A to Z.
From pop culture and the latest news to deep dives on topics that you didn't even know you cared about, we've got you covered.
So, grab a drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. This is H2O Croutons. Hey everyone, it's Jennifer and
Lexi.
Welcome back to H2O Croutons. Yeah, anyway, enough of that. So, today's topic is going to be something I'm not really known for talking about, although I have been a little more vocal lately. So, if you're not religious, you may not be interested in hearing this, but I'm not the type of Christian that tells you you're not good enough because you don't follow Christ. So, I'm here to tell you, you may want to stay tuned because I'm about to ask some questions of Christians that I'm hoping they're going to answer for me. Do you have anything you want to add for right now in our intro?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, so we'll be right back after this message and we'll get right into it. Welcome back to H2O Croutons. We're going to get right into this, so I can try to keep this under 30 minutes. It's a pretty hot topic. It's not something I generally talk about, although lately I have been a little more vocal about it, just because I'm seeing things that are leaving me questioning a lot. That's Christianity. Don't run. Those people who don't believe in God, it's okay. I'm not here to cast judgment on you. I'm my own type of sinner, right? I'll focus on my own backyard, and I wish everybody else would do the same, but let's move on. Essentially, I want to talk about, obviously we have a new president that has come in, and while I agree with what the intent is, I absolutely do not agree with how it's being handled. Not at all. Not even a little bit. And I sure as hell do not want someone who has complete control of our government and deciding through artificial intelligence who stays and who goes, okay? And I don't agree with just rounding people up and shipping them back over. I get illegal aliens should come over here legally.
Or putting them in concentration camps in Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, I read about that too. They're different, but guess what? I'm just going to start this out really quickly. Mexicans share 60% of their DNA with Native Americans. You know, those people who were here before us. Mm-hmm. And it bothers me immensely that for some reason, people can't comprehend that. My 6th great-grandfather, your 7th great-grandfather, fought the American Revolution to get away from a king, and now we have self-proclaiming that he is a king. You're not a king. You're just some idiot who got lucky and got voted in. And I'm not even sure that was legal because there's confession about it and another talk. Mm-hmm. Moving on.
Yeah, he confessed that Elon Musk, he said this in Pennsylvania the day before he was inaugurated. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Elon Musk knows how to work those polling stations and this and that. Mm-hmm. And oh yeah, we won by a landslide because of that. Like, what?
And then he journeyed to Pennsylvania where he spent like a month and a half campaigning for me in Pennsylvania. And he's a popular guy, and he was very effective. And he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon.
That clip is courtesy of Politico. And then there was commentary from his own son who, 4-year-olds being a mother, do only repeat pretty much what they hear.
Elon Musk's son.
Yes. And he's in the Oval Office, first of all, he's telling the President of the United States, you're not the President. You shut up.
I mean, imagine they're going down the grocery aisle, and the prices from one year to the next are the same, and their mortgage, all their debt payments dropped. the average American.
Which, I mean, okay, I can agree with that little kid. I got you. Good for you.
But Trump's sitting there and just kind of taking it, which, fine, respectful, whatever. And Elon's hearing it and just kind of looking at him with this, like, little smirk, but also, I hope nobody's hearing that, because there's some other things. And this is not the only time that's happened. I really do believe that it is, in my opinion, that Elon Musk bought his way to be the president, and he is the puppet master of Trump, giving Trump control of certain things, but he runs the rest. Why do I think that? Because Elon Musk wants contracts. He wants them to be only SpaceX, only, things that he's running. There's a contract up with Verizon, I believe with the FAA, that they're basically saying we're going to probably go with Elon. No conflict of interest, but, it's just, they're paying no mind to the man behind the curtain. What I want to bring up first when it comes to religion is simply, I keep seeing these people being really rude and bad to people they should not be doing that to. It's not Christ-like.
No.
And there's a majority of Republicans, and I know it's not all of you, just like there's not a majority of Democrats that are Christian. But the ones that are self-proclaimed Christians and finding this rounding up of people who are different from us, when I say us, I mean white people, and shipping them back over to their country, even though they were refugees, which is completely legal. Every country has it. In fact, I believe it's Iran who has the largest capacity of refugees. Even they're doing it. So it's not that every country doesn't offer money, because they do. Every country gives them something to live on. Canada, I believe you get like a year of help and free rent. So you get adjusted and adapted and can pay on your own. So I just thought I'd take it back down to the religious part. There's a quote. There's a couple of them, actually, from the Bible. Verses. I should not say quotes. Sorry, Pop. But it says, more importantly, all human beings are equally created in the image and likeness of God. And then another one that said, God loved the world so much that he sent Jesus to lay down his life for us. The world did not say that he loved white people so much that he sent Jesus to lay his life down for them. No, it says the world, which includes everyone. God made everyone, including those people that you're shipping back overseas who are trying to come here to have a better life. Yes, there are bad people. That's in every walk of life. And I remember what I would call a discussion with this guy on Facebook. He basically was saying, well, they're over here and they're doing bad. It's in Colorado. It's Venezuelans, some of them. And they are doing some pretty crap, to be honest. But it's not everybody. You're generalizing at that point. Why do white people do that?
I have no idea, but I want to add one thing in real quick. Mm-hmm. Aren't we a nation built off of immigrants? Yes,
because that's the thing that bothers me is white people keep forgetting we were not the first people here. The fact that there are so many who keep, this is our country. Actually, it's not. You're a guest here. Mexicans were actually here, along with Native Americans. So now what? Did you know? First foreign languages, because today, Trump signed an executive order making English the language of the United States. Okay? What's interesting about that is our forefathers decided not to do that, to have and show respect to the people that fought alongside them for independence. My problem with that is, are you serious? How do they not get that? Did any of them read a Bible or the history book?
George Washington's turning in his grave.
Yes, he is, because he actually told us parties were bad, and that's the only thing I wish people would not do. Start thinking independently. Stop this groupthink, high school cliquist crap. I really just think it's overrated and gets us in trouble. It's just, It's become this thing where people keep forgetting because the first languages were Native American tribes. And the first European language? Spanish. That's right. Not English, Spanish.
That's interesting.
Exactly. If our forefathers, who were supposedly very racist back in the day, I don't know all of them, and I don't think everybody was made that way, it just apparently was the norm, and we'll talk about that some other time. But if they can put that to the side and show respect, why the can't we? Why does it have to be this, and why is he wasting his time on that?
Because Donald Trump is fundamentally racist, and the reason why I'm so quick to throw that out there is he's even said it himself.
Yes.
He said, I'm not going to quote it because I'm not good at saying things verbatim. You can tell when they're an illegal immigrant because they just look bad.
So does Trump. Can we
get
him out?
Yeah, right? And yet the only people he seems to be pushing towards and saying are illegal immigrants are the Hispanic people.
Isn't it crazy? To me, I just sit here and I go, these people go to church on a Sunday. They go to church on a Sunday and they go, I love you, God, I follow you, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to follow this false prophet over here who told me he's a Christian, yet he's doing all these very unchristian things.
Yeah, he could even put his hand on a Bible.
Yeah, that was concerning to me because I'm like, and somebody said, well, Roberts didn't give him enough time.
Whenever someone holds a Bible in front of you and tells you to take an oath, you put your hand on it, Christian
exactly.
or not.
It's not like you didn't do this 8 years before.
Yeah.
You know? And Vance has never been in any kind of political position outside of his local government out there, but he knew, and he put his hand on the Bible. Don't tell me that he didn't know what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. Just because someone says they're a Christian doesn't mean that they are. And it's something that bothers me, and it's something that bothers my daughter, which is why we're talking about it. We're going to take this little break, we're going to come back, and then we're going to talk about why it's so bad to treat people who are poor so badly. Welcome back to our next segment. Are you ready to go over this one?
I am.
So, this segment we're going to talk about how treating the poor, so this Medicaid cut of $880 billion, a 20% cut in food stamps.
Seriously?
Yes. Firing, I think the last count, which I'm sure there's more now, but last count was 1,600 veterans. With no warning. Like, hey, we're a grateful nation. Now get the hell out.
Yeah.
I don't have a job. I can't pay my bills. Well, it's not my problem.
Or all the military that are now having to leave because they're trans.
Yep.
Another thing I'm morally against is not helping the less fortunate. The Bible repeatedly mentions how we're supposed to give of ourselves to help the poor, to be kind to one another. I've heard people say, well, that's not what Jesus meant, when it's clear that it is exactly what he meant. For example, then Jesus said to his host, when you give the luncheon or dinner, do not invite your friends, your brothers or sisters, your relatives or your rich neighbor. If you do, they may invite you back, and so you will be repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. Although they cannot repay you, you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteousness. That was...
I getcha. There's another one from Proverbs. Proverbs has a lot about this, so some of you need to pay attention. It says, whoever is kind to the poor tends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done. The next one is, the generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor. So taking away food stamps could be seen as that, because you're taking food from the poor. Whoever oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. I'm going to read that one more time. Whoever oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. That one alone is pretty obvious to me what it's trying to tell you. So I really just don't understand how other people don't catch on to that. Basically, I'm trying to get to heaven, and I'm in complete disagreement with what's going on. This other Bible verse says, "Clothe yourselves with humility toward one another, because God opposes the proud, but shows favor to the humble." People should flee from greed and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and gentleness. Timothy 6:11. Do you all see that happening right now?
No.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. It is just so, it's wrong. I don't see it happening. I see it's taken away from people who need it the most, and God does not like ugly. And I'm not talking physically, I'm talking spiritually. Who you are as a person, your character, your integrity, all these things, your moral code.
I just can't agree with or follow anyone who claims Christianity and instigates, promotes, or believes that we need to not help others, is super ugly to others, or needs their ego stroked because they suffer from a very classic case of narcissism. This is basic common sense in Bible 101, in my opinion. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. Using God to back a political stance that substantiates greed, hate, intolerance, pride, or ugliness towards one another, I don't know, it just feels very off.
It says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you the interests of the other." I'm going to read that one more time. "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interest of the others." As an American, the whole "give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free,"
It doesn't feel like we do that anymore.
We don't.
We used to.
We tell them, if you didn't sign the book, you gotta get out. These people are refugees coming from different countries. 99% of our ancestors showed up on boats. They gave their names, often fake or simply misspelled. I know, I've seen it myself through my genealogy research. And they would give that information to an authority at the port where they came in, and voila, they were Americans. I learned so much from doing all that research. Then we have the whole First Amendment, Fifth Amendment, just the entirety of every historical U.S. document. Not just for people like me, and not just for people like, that I like, or people that look like me. It's for everyone. That's why we call it equality. So to take this DEI situation, I understand what people are trying to say, but I don't understand the approach. We're going to get right back to that when we come back after this break.
Come join our website at www.h2ocroutonspodcast.com to keep up on all the latest. If you want to hear our new episodes a few days earlier and get exclusive access to members-only benefits, join our Patreon. For just $5 a month, you will get exclusive members-only benefits. After 3 months, we'll send you an H2O Croutons official sticker. You can also join our free mailing list to be notified of contests, upcoming episodes, and more. Please show your support by following us on our socials. Just search H2O Croutons on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and more. To add us on Discord, search for h2o.croutons.podcast, all lowercase, and add us. If you have a question, need advice, or want to share your thoughts on any topic we discuss in our episodes, simply send us an email at h2oquestion@gmail.com. Or you can call or leave us a text at 1-786-505-2194. Again, that is 786-505-2194. H2O Croutons is syndicated on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, SiriusXM, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and more. Please make sure you like, follow, and review on your favorite platform. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. Stay crunchy!
Welcome back. Okay, so we're going to dive right into the DEI portion of this. And what that means is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And organizational frameworks that seek to promote the fair treatment and full participation of all people, particularly groups who have historically been underrepresented or subject to discrimination based on identity or disability.
Like, in more simpler terms, say there is a woman and a man both applying for a job. Well, both of them have equal chances of now getting said job because it would be...
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Used to.
Yeah. Both of them had equal chances to get a job because as long as both of them had, like, the same amount of education, qualities, yada yada.
But now women voted. They voted for Trump and voted against themselves.
Yeah.
I find that strange, but it's not all women. Obviously,
there were a good chunk of women that did, though.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a set of policies. It was a set of policies and practices that promoted fair treatment and participation for all people. It aimed to create a welcoming and respectful workplace where people from different backgrounds could thrive. Diversity recognizes and values differences among people. Equity ensures fair opportunities for everyone. Inclusion means creates a workplace where all feel welcomed and respected. It would build a fair society, create structures where everyone had a fair shot to succeed, open doors that have been historically closed to people, expanded the pool of leadership talent, and created a culture of respect, trust, and support. It focused on groups who have historically been underrepresented or subject to discrimination based on identity or disability. It considers factors such as race, gender, sexual orientation, age. So if you're old and they hire a young guy and you voted for Trump, that's what you voted for.
It's kind of a you problem, bud.
Ethnicity, nationality, socioeconomic status. So if you're rich and they don't want a rich guy in, you voted against yourself. You're middle class and they don't want a middle class guy, they want a rich guy. You voted against yourself. Language ability or disability. That's essentially it.
Things I would like to add, though, it's not just like workplace related, it's also websites. Like after DEI was reversed, I guess you'd say. After DEI was reversed, the CDC actually got rid of a bunch of articles about LGBTQ information. Right. And then there's a memorial somewhere that actually has my cousin's name and face on it. Women in
cryptology. And
the very same day that it was reversed, their pictures and names got covered up.
They have since been uncovered, however.
Yes, but the men's pictures got to stay up. It was infuriating.
She was
offensive.
Killed in Iraq. So that's why it was so. She was actually the first intelligence soldier who was ever killed in combat. Yes. Ever. Yes. In the history of the United States. And she saved so many soldiers' lives, and she gave of herself personally.
Basically, it stems from a combination of factors including misinformation about the concept, concerns about political reverse discrimination, a feeling of threat to the status quo by dominant groups, political polarization, and perceptions that DEI initiatives are not effectively implemented, sometimes leading to the accusations of performative activism, causing resistance from some employees who feel targeted or unfairly treated.
That also kind of goes down like social identity threat. Individuals from dominant groups like white men may perceive DEI efforts as a personal attack.
Which they have.
Yes. Feeling their privilege. And it's not all white men, please, okay?
Yeah.
I want to be fair. I hate generalizations. That's what gets us in so many issues. Yeah. Feeling their privilege is under threat and leading to defensiveness or resistance. Trump.
Uh-huh.
I'll repeat that again. They take it as a personal attack, feeling that their privilege is under threat and leading to defensiveness or resistance.
And guess what it's not?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it happened, but it didn't happen as much as people wanted to think, or want to think it did.
Yeah.
Poor implementation. When DEI programs were actually not well designed or executed, they can lead to unintended consequences like creating division with teams or appearing inauthentic, fueling further skepticism. And then you have concerns about reverse discrimination, where some argue that actively seeking diversity could lead to qualified individuals from dominant groups being overlooked in favor of less qualified candidates from underrepresented groups. Critics often associate DEI with extreme social justice views, labeling it as woke and claiming it promotes division instead of unity. I think that's just an excuse from my perspective.
Yeah.
It's only that way if you allow it to be that way.
Yes.
It's that simple. Use data to identify areas where diversity and inclusion can be improved, avoiding subjective...
Places like Costco, who still are basically using DEI, even though it's not like really anything in effect anymore, they're just doing it on their own. They're thriving.
So, verses that might coincide with this, okay? Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. So, if God can do it for you, you can do it for other people. You can try to be tender-hearted and forgiving.
I like that.
Here's another one. So Peter opened his mouth and said, "Truly, I understand that God shows no partiality. But in every nation, anyone who fears him and does what is right is acceptable to him." Which means he accepts everyone. He doesn't care if you're black, white, Muslim, whatever. You can be
as
female, gay.
Right.
Other one is, "Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your flesh, and refreshment to your bones." Turn away from evil. Evil would be being bad to poor people or people who are different because they're all God's kids. Be nicer. Then you have, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. And then you have, and as you wish that others would do unto you, do so to them. It's the golden rule.
Sorry?
The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the dwelling of the righteous. Toward the scorners he is scornful, but to the humble he gives favor. The wise will inherit honor, but fools get disgrace. Another one. Then there is, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. That really sticks out to me. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity, guarding the paths of justice and watching over the way of his saints. Then you will understand righteousness and justice and equity, every good path, for wisdom will come into your heart and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Matthew 5:3-10. So I'm going to read this one more time. It's a little long. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity, guarding the paths of justice and watching over the way of his saints. then you will understand righteousness and justice and equity. I'm saying that for a reason. Every good path. Wisdom will come into your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. So it's all over the Bible. And I have never, I'm not going to sit here and act like I have read the entire Bible. When something comes up, been going to Google and saying, what does the Bible say about blah, blah, blah? And I will read it, and don't take anybody's interpretation but your own. Because quite frankly, I think the Bible gets interpreted 20 different ways on every Sunday. And yeah, it's how I feel about it, because God's telling people, you need to be nice, treat everybody fairly, equally. I don't care if you're Greek or Jew or slave or free or woman or man. You're all equal in my eyes. So why, again, are Christians doing things that go against the Bible that they claim to love? Because to love Jesus is to love the Bible and listen to his word. Yeah, this is something that bothers me a lot, because I keep seeing these things that everything the Bible says, it's everything the Bible says, and you see people going against it. It kind of makes you sit there and go, okay, is it just me? And I know it's not, because it's written. It's the word of the Bible. It's exactly what is said in black and white, and it's getting overlooked. Sure, I think there are people, including myself, again, humility. I am not going to sit here and claim to be a perfect Christian. I find people who do that to be egotistical, because nobody is a perfect Christian. We're supposed to try our hardest when we make mistakes. We're supposed to learn from them, ask for forgiveness, and move forward. That's my opinion. Although I've had people tell me, well, once you ask for forgiveness, you keep doing it. No. Why would you think that? It's not okay. I would not think that God would sit there and go, that's okay, right?
Right. Agreed.
So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. And I know you have a different look from DEI and how you perceive it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I don't see why people don't just automatically in their hearts go, oh, you know what? Everyone's equal. Everyone's, one. I don't understand the hang-up. I find it interesting that more atheists, agnostics, pagans, Wiccans, etc. are more Christian than actual Christians themselves at this point.
Not everyone.
Not everyone. Okay, not everyone. Obviously not everyone. I don't want to put everyone in one big group there, or else that would be pretty hypocritical of me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just see that there are some Christians that are so hateful. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it. I feel like if you are going to run a company or something where DEI should be involved, it should be something that's automatically done anyway, not something that should have to be law for it to be done.
I do know that in talking to Grandma back in the day about this, because I was always curious how it worked, but I guess there would have to be a certain percentage of minorities who are hired. If we did it to white people, which I'm sure it's been done a million times.
Yeah, but it sounds a little sketchy.
It does. So I see that perspective. And if you don't, I guess I think she said there was fines. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Don't quote me on all that. Google's your friend. We can look it up some other time. But yeah, I can see signs of it, but I don't think people are looking at it from a very kind, tender-hearted way. They're looking for blame. They're looking to throw those stones, even when they're not sure what they're throwing them at from their glass house. That's my issue with it. The U.S. Constitution's 14th Amendment guarantees equal protection under the law to all people within a state's jurisdiction. This amendment was passed all the way back in 1868 to combat discrimination and ensure due process. So how does Equal Protection Clause apply? The government must have a valid reason for treating similar situations and people different. So tell me why you're treating them different. That's basically what it's saying, okay?
Yeah.
It says, for fundamental rights like race, religion, and voting, the government's reason must be compelling. Again, you better prove it to me. Why? Because we need to be equal. And for other distinctions, like occupation, the government only needs a rational basis.
Seems fair enough to me.
Have you seen irrational stuff going on lately?
No, not at all.
It really bothers me. I'm very upset with how it's being handled. I think it's going to backfire.
Oh,
I really do. It already has that nuclear plant in Texas.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. Elon goes in, does his power play, fires a bunch of people, and left us very susceptible to potential threats.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so they're going to, come back. But the problem is once you fire people, and these
they
are
don't
people
want to come back.
Well, they're unsure.
Yeah.
You just fired them after they've been, and apparently a lot of them had been there for a very long time.
Really?
Yeah, and so you just come in and go, boom. I feel like he's going, here's what we're going to do. You've got 433 people that work here.
Yeah.
Let's roll the dice, spin the wheel, whatever the heck you want to go through, and let's see what number they say to let go of, and we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And he just does it without any rational, logical explanation other than, I'm saving you money.
Yeah.
And yet, he's been proven several times from very solid sources that...
You're not saving anything.
that he's making it up.
Yeah.
So, if that's the case, this isn't working.
Yeah, I said that he saved $55 billion so far, and it was an absolute lie.
Yeah. He's been caught, like I said, several times. It's concerning that so many people are able to buy into it. I guess if you tell people what they want to hear, they'll believe it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm writing an article
it's wishful
right
thinking.
now. Yeah, exactly. I'm actually writing an article right now about how Trump came into presidency and how Rupert Murdoch and I think his name was Ron Ailes or something, but he was the head guy at Fox that Rupert Murdoch put in charge. And Rupert Murdoch owns 100 different media companies. No exaggeration. So if he puts something out there, has his paper to it, suddenly it is fact.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. And he actually got sued because Trump's like, well, the vote, the vote was bad and it was a bad vote and I'm supposed to be president. When he made that accusation, Sean Hannity of Fox kept repeating it. And therefore, Murdoch got sued and had to pay $787 million.
That's insane.
To the voting, yeah, to the company that made the voting ballot machines. Oh shit! There was fact to prove that it wasn't.
Yeah.
They proved it. So why are people wanting to, have someone in office who lies to you all the time? I've got a couple of instances where it's like he forgets it's out there. Once it's on the internet, you're done.
Oh yeah.
And people are pulling stuff left and right, but. I don't know. I could go on forever, but it's another topic for another day. I just want people to be fair. Think about it. If you're a Christian...
Be kind.
Yeah. Even if you're not Christian, just be kind. If you don't believe in God, you better believe in the universe, because the universe will always settle the score for you. And it'll get you. It'll get you hard. I used to be Wiccan. I think there's some truth to it, that everything you do, good or bad...
comes back to you 3 times.
3 times better or worse.
Yep.
If you did something great, they'll come back to you 3 times better. Something bad, 3 times worse. I mean, if nothing else, just do it for selfish reasons. It's gonna happen. And I think a lot of people are gonna learn a very hard lesson about why we shouldn't have followed this. I'm not saying Kamala, no disrespect, was the answer. Okay?
No.
She
would have been better, in my opinion.
In the end, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was like, oh, this is what my choice is. Well, I'm going for her. Because common sense has to dictate at some point. I voted for him once. I don't know. I just feel like we need to think about it. I was really hopeful that he would do the right thing. And all I've managed to see him do thus far is make a lot worse.
Beep.
And, yeah. And quite frankly, it scares the hell out of me what he's going to do. And I'm very sad for all these people. Do we need an audit? Yep. Did we need to do it the way Elon's doing it?
No.
Nope. Do we need to put one man in charge of that? Why are we giving him so much power?
And Another big thing that I noticed he did was have 10% of people who work for the suicide hotline be fired. And those are the people in specific that were going out and talking about it, going out and informing people about it.
Well, the other part is, too, and we'll end it with this, is basically he's also going after the departments that were investigating him for a lot of stuff. So I just want people to think. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're wrong, and you may know things I don't, and we're welcome to hear that. Just talk to me. If you come at me rude, I'm going to come right back at you, and trust me, I used to work in a rehab with 30 women coming to them off drugs and alcohol. So, I'm also Gen X, so I'm like, whatever.
Bring it.
What was that?
Bring it.
Bring it. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's something we need to start talking about and thinking about. I was really hopeful, and I'm not hopeful anymore. I feel that I am disappointed because I was hoping he would do the right thing. I really was, because I used to like him a lot. Remember that? And this is before I voted for him, because I was like, oh damn, he's a shrewd businessman. And now I just find out, yeah, he is shrewd. He'll do whatever he's got to do, and he will up to and include sell our souls to make a buck. That's my opinion.
Why we trusted a businessman that has several bankruptcies, I have no idea. And that's my opinion.
And has the personal ties that he has that people don't talk about either. But again, it's all opinion. I can't say a lot in fact other than what I'm seeing and what I'm disappointed in, because these people losing their jobs. If you're listening, if anybody hears this, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm really sorry. I know it's not my place to say I'm sorry, but I'm saying it for him because he should have. We're going to wrap it up from here. We're really happy that you tuned in, and we'll catch you on the next episode of
H2O Croutons!
Yay! Stay curious, stay crunchy.
I wanted to say it. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!